let's talk about cosplay. I'm Mike Price for East.ONews.com, and this is Mike's Makers.
I'm Chelsea Wilkerson, and I'm from Pocatello. I'm in my 30s. I'm also a student at ISU.
Hi, I'm Christy Francis. I'm from Pocatello, Idaho. My cosplay character is Harley J. Tiddlywinks.
I'm Jacob Rosen. I'm from Pocatello, Idaho. My entire life, I've always been kind of the nerdy person.
I'm China Lindsay, and I'm from Pocatello, Idaho. I go down to Salt Lake, I'd say about twice a year to make it to conventions.
We're cosplayers! There are a lot of different types of cosplays and cosplayers. You know, you have your closet cosplay, which is just something that you find in your closet and put it on, and you look close enough to the character where people recognize you. There's store-bought cosplay, there's homemade cosplay, there's sexy jitsu cosplay, I don't know. It's like, I'm Pikachu, but you're wearing a bikini.
The number one reason that I cosplay is because I love the connection that I gain from being a nerd with other nerds. I mean, it's a whole different experience when you show up in costume to a convention and somebody runs up to you so excited because they never thought that they would see their favorite character in person right there before them.
Some time ago, I created a Fire and Ice Fox for a gala fashion show at ISU. And it kind of started this whole thing of foxes that are based off of the elements. So right now I am working on my Spring Fox, which is Earth Element. These are all original creations that I'm doing. I'm currently wearing my Love Fox, which element of love, you know, if you think of like Captain Planet. Yeah.
Okay.
An original cosplayer is we take our own imagination of things we love. Like, I actually love the Harry Potter realm. And you need to get back up there. No treats for you. I love the Harry Potter realm. But my biggest love of them is magical creatures. So I thought, well, what if I make my own character? Because I don't fit in with any of the actual characters from the Harry Potter realm. So what if I make my own character? And my specialty is I blend in with the background. So I can go on these adventures, have the same adventures as them, but when I come back, they only see me as a background character, you know. So that's kind of what I do, is I insert myself as an original character into canon places, but I have my own background, I have my own storyline.
Today I am working on a costume for Lilu from The Fifth Element. So I'm doing her bandage costume, which entails that I'm basically making myself a bikini. And it's kind of terrifying, I won't lie, because this is my first time making a pattern entirely from scratch. So most of the patterns that you use are store-bought. So you can go into your local Joann's and find something that's, you know, kind of close to what you're making, and you can kind of Frankenstein your way through it. And it seems to work pretty well for most projects. I personally haven't had the best of luck with that because I'm always making really unique pieces. So what I like to do is I take about 6 months of study, which is insane, but you know, it takes some time to get things going, and I'll watch films, I'll find reference photos, I'll, you know, see if I can't find original costume designs from when the films were made or other things as such to try and get as much information as I possibly can so that when I go to get started, I can just kind of go. Yeah, because these are 75 pounds. Yeah, they're the same, so it's not gonna make any difference to me. Close enough. Thank you, dear.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I've got a whole collection of those back at home, and I just completely forgot to bring them with me.
So when you're sewing a project like this, how long does it take you?
So far, the tunic part is not taking me very long. It's, I don't know, probably about 5 hours into it, maybe?
Okay.
Yeah. It's a bit more intensive pattern than I'm used to, because a lot of patterns, they just want you to do a simple seam. And the problem with that is if you don't fray check the seams somehow, they'll start falling apart after a while.
Right, yeah.
This one actually instructs you to put a French seam into it, which seals up the seam inside of the fabric.
My character is kind of... It's based in the old Western days, the heroic, fallen angel kind of stuff, but it's kind of a little based off of, like, Deadpool. So it's kind of a mixture of that. So.
Okay, so you're wanting to create something yours that you have made. Why is that?
Because I think it represents who I am.
who are you?
I'm Jacob.
So tell me about working with foam as opposed to working with fabric. Obviously, they're completely different materials.
Yes, and I would say that foam can be a lot more forgiving than your typical fabrics, because when you cut a fabric, once that line is made, that line is made. There's really no way to seam it back together in a way that's seamless. You will always find that there's some kind of a line wherever you miscut your fabric. I actually have a piece right now that I miscut earlier. So I'll have to go back and recut that whole piece of fabric in order to restart on that piece, because there's no way for me to, make it work. However, with foam, it's a little bit more forgiving, like working with wood, where if there's a certain piece that you've messed up on, you can, glue more foam into it, or you can put this stuff called quick seal over it. A lot of people like using quick seal for their seams on foam because it's a really easy way to fill in the gaps without it looking too messy.
Right.
So my biggest issue I've run into with foam so far is that it does not paint very well. So you have to be really careful about how you're painting it and what you're painting it with. So this keyblade was made, and it's not actually finished yet, but it was painted just fresh on, and this whole top piece is actually made out of foam.
This is all foam.
So this was all hand cut. We actually made this at the convention that year. So it was a little bit more difficult than your typical build, because normally you have a whole workshop to go with. We had a hand saw and an airbrush. So we made it work. And it's definitely not as nicely painted as I would like it to be. It's not as cohesive with the color as it is down here. And I would like to lacquer finish this as well, so that it has a little bit more of a clean look to it.
There we go. Ta-da!
Thank you so much for letting me come be a part of this and see what you do. Remind people what the group is.
We are Snake River Defenders. We have a Facebook page and an Instagram.
And the Instagram page is going to be under Snake River Cosplay.
Okay.
And you can find my personal cosplay page at Diluted Intellect Cosplay on Facebook and on Instagram.
And I only have Facebook, and it's Kid Sister Cosplay, Kidxister.
Okay. Thank you so much.